live.
Let's see if I need to slide over from that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Right there.
Here comes the chat. So, yeah, we're an hour early because of the daylight savings.
Well, we're an hour early for people who observe daylight savings.
Oh, right. What, Arizona? Yeah.
I don't know. Same time for everybody else, right?
Yeah, isn't there? There's like one state, right? It's like I think it's Arizona that says no daylight savings.
Well, I mean that's the only sane state apparently, then, because daylight savings.
Oh, no Martin Luther King's birthday, really?
All right,
how far are you going to step into Arizona's?
Never mind. I take that back. I rescind my previous statement. Right? All of the states are just crazy.
Yeah. Yes, but an hour early, so North America can enjoy our live stream. Yes.
Oh, live stream. That's much more nice than rambling. Okay.
Yes. Well, rambling live stream.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right. So, hey, dude and Matt, how is it going? Dude. All right. There's a little saying about Arizona. Yes. Arizona is interesting. So what have you been up to? Any gaming related?
Not.
You played a really fun card game that you.
You know what? Okay. Yes. The card, Flesh and Blood, looks interesting, right? Like I would definitely play it again, right? I think 4 players was not the optimal one because I mean, like John said, okay, it seems to suffer from the magic problem of where we were all being like, well, we're not going to wail on the weakest person because we all want to like make sure everyone can play for as long as possible. But yeah, so I would like to see like a multiplayer game, and I'd also like to play a 2-player game of that after having read.
Yes.
The rules.
Yeah,
right?
That's I think a little bit of a problem that they have. The thing that I really like, getting a like a starter set or whatever of Magic now, they have a rule book that very clearly states like the order of things. Just like a little pamphlet, like very clearly states the order of things and where things happen, so you can kind of understand the timing mechanics and how you actually are playing at a higher level, and. Flesh and Blood's only been out, I think, like a year and a half.
Right.
And they have this, I forget what they call it, like this extensive rule set, but it's written like stereo instructions or like like a Bible for coding in Python or whatever. Right. It's really, really dense the way that it's written because they are very specific with the language, and it's almost programmer-esque the way that it's written.
So it's like a tournament level Magic document.
So there's no misunderstanding.
Right.
Yeah. So like a card in your hand is an action layer that maybe spent, generates this and it does this, and you're like, wait, what? Yeah. So there's a lot of kind of it just looks like scripting language.
Right. Well, I mean, honestly, that's okay when you kind of get into board games and card games and stuff that doesn't have an arbitrator or facilitator role like a role-playing game. You have, my feeling is, you have to get into that nitty-gritty where players have to reliably be able to go to the rules and go, nope, got it.
Yeah,
this solves the issue, and you kind of got to plan for every edge case or interaction, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it makes, for beginners, it's a little bit of like, okay, so what are the rules? And I think, but the intention...
Here's your giant, like...
right.
Yeah, document,
it's just this, like, a huge outline, yeah. But I think the thing that it does, though, is creates a more of an oral process. Like, you need to be taught by someone. And even the name of the game, they said, is intentionally, we're never going to make a digital version of this. We want flesh and blood, face-to-face, human interaction to be this. So maybe that's partially intentional, not making it too easy to learn, because then you're going to YouTube or you're going to blogs and you're reading other people's experiences. They're teaching you how to play. So it's making it a bit more social, I think, than other games where you can kind of learn it alone, play it alone, or play it online. They don't intend it to be that way. So maybe that's intentional on their part. They don't have a simple like little rule book or simple set of starter rules, because the deck that you were playing, the deck that I was playing is part of what they called like a classic battles, and it was a starter set. It was meant to be a starter set. But those are, well, my deck is pretty straightforward, but your deck was very difficult for a brand new player to kind of like.
I guess so. Like we had 4 players, and all the decks. I mean, okay, all the decks seemed very different. I don't think, as new players, I don't think we explored how different all the decks are.
Right.
But like seeing what other people were doing, I'm kind of like, I'm unsure how some of these rules work, because the only thing I can seem to be able to do is make a weapon attack.
Right.
And if it's only once per turn, then how am I supposed to trigger these effects that say like the second time or the third time you attack with a weapon each turn? I'm like, so yeah, it was interesting, but I think they do need a little, not quick start, but a condensed version of basically here's how to play. And then when you're getting into like the super nitty gritty timing stuff, that's when you go to your big rules document.
Yeah, and it's interesting too for the Blitz decks. They have a card that's just like a token, or it's not functional in the game. It's just like an art card, and on the back of it, it has the description of the character that you're playing, the hero that you're playing, and how they play, their play style. And so that helps you understand. Okay, so this is how the mechanics were written, and this is how I'm supposed to be thinking about this. And there's a lot of really good support for it already on YouTube, online, and in fact, one of the decks I have from that box set was a YouTuber that pushed the game really fast, really hard at the beginning. Like they kind of made him a fantasy character in the world, so it was very funny. So I think they're really trying to push community, and they're even stepping away from, because their original idea was to do this like first printing of the sets, and those were the very exclusive, expensive cards, and then they did a limited edition and then an unlimited edition. So that's that first printing of each of the new sets that comes out are going to have really high card values, and I think they said they're going to stop that because it's creating this this weird secondary market, this artificial demand, and it's also very daunting when you see this is a card that everyone should include in their deck. It's $2,000, so for the special foil, not the unlimited version. So I think they're really paying attention to how the community is responding to things. And at first, people were saying with these crazy card prices, and I think early on they did have a little distribution trouble as well, getting cards to every country, every region of the world, because they're based in New Zealand. I don't know where they're printing, but so it's interesting. I think and I'm really surprised Japan there's no Japanese language version. And it's only English, and Japan is just grabbing onto it really hard.
Like when I first showed up and I played Magic, kind of at a like local tournament level here, like having your deck all in English was kind of like a thing people seemed to want to do. Right?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so interesting. So we'll try that out a little bit.
I'll play it again.
Yeah, we've got some. So
I gave HeroQuest a second chance, so I definitely got to give this a second chance, right? No third chance.
Yes, we meet once every 2 years and play the first trial scenario of HeroQuest. Yeah. All right, nice. But so let's see what's going on this week. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Diablo board game and RPG.
Okay.
AI war images.
Oh, yeah.
The Electric State. Star Wars RPG reprints.
Okay.
And D&D streaming finally launches. Kind of, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. We've been talking about this.
We're ending on a whimper.
Right. Yeah, we're ending really, really badly. We've been talking about that forever. All right, so let's start with, initially I saw this and I'm like, another IP, somebody got this IP, they're just going to throw it out there, video game to board game translation. So the hellish video game Diablo is getting both a board game and an RPG. Okay. And then I saw the company that's doing it, and it kind of made me feel a little bit more encouraged. So it's Glass Cannon Unplugged, who have done a Frostpunk adaptation and an Apex Legends adaptation of game to board game, and their campaign, their Kickstarter that they ran for Apex Legends was amazing, because they had a what's the board game simulator, the tabletop simulator. They had the game completely in tabletop simulator with all the cards and everything for you to play test during the campaign, and they're taking feedback constantly on their Discord, and they're making like almost daily changes to the cards and things. So you can keep testing it, and they keep like doing play balancing and stuff. So they're really, really open to feedback from players, and asking people, if you've had experience with this game, does this the video game, does this board game recreate that? They really, I was surprised how often they updated and how much they were listening to feedback from people. And so they said they're going to do the same thing with Diablo.
Okay, mixed feelings on that, but okay.
Yes. So but for them, and I wonder if they're going to do that with the board game as well, have the tabletop simulator version of it.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Stands to reason, right?
But I think that was just amazing. I've never seen such a company so responsive. It must have been insanely labor intensive to do that during the month of a Kickstarter campaign. But anyhow, we've got board game and RPG, and they're going to delve into the wider lore and mythos of the world of Sanctuary, the setting for Diablo. And I was really surprised. We're up to Diablo 4, but there's a ton of, like, Blizzard has released, like, books of history of this game. There's, like, really deep lore that they have, to explore. So it'd be interesting. So your players in the game, and this kind of, there's a little bit of mix here, which is interesting, are known as champions, and you'll be exploring dungeons, tombs full of undead horrors, with randomized and procedurally generated dungeons. The ever-shifting world of Sanctuary, they're calling it. And so multiple opponents will in battle at the same time. And for the RPG, they're saying it will have a satisfying and fast-paced combat, and also a unique rule set, so no 5e port or anything. And the other mechanic that they will use is the inner struggle. The inner struggle with a balance between the forces of light and darkness. So, kind of a corruption mechanic. So between sin and integrity. And the creative team wants to continue the lore and the story. So the roleplay system, this is a quote from them, the roleplay system will be based on the entire franchise, and we will invite the players to travel the vast world of Sanctuary, east to west, north to south, old to new. So this RPG is going to be released at next year's BlizzCon, which usually happens in fall, early November, late October, usually. And then 12 months will be spent after that. I guess the announcement, they'll be announcing it. The release at BlizzCon. And then they'll do from now until then, they're going to be doing 12 months of playtesting. So they'll have open surveys with community feedback to get as close as they can to what players are feeling is the feel of it. So previously they did Frostpunk, Dying Light, which is another video game adaptation, and Apex Legends. The quality of the of everything, the terrain and everything for Apex was insane. It was the buildings, like you have this whole huge. So I think some people are just going to buy it for the terrain because they had collapsible buildings that looked exactly like settings in the game, but they all folded down and went into the box. That's cool. So they're doing a lot of interest. I mean, we haven't seen the final versions of that, and I've only played the digital versions, but so very interesting. So after that, the role-playing game will go to Kickstarter, and so the world debut will be next year's BlizzCon. So we've got a core rule book, and the interesting thing is what they want to do is kind of have these two projects fuel each other. So they're going to have interchangeable components because you can use the miniatures from the board game for the RPG, and shared components as well as complementary expansions. So the expansions they make for the board game will also be playable as an RPG. So it's a duplication. So it's interesting. Like you'd have to decide which one you're going to play.
I mean, I assume unlimited time. You could probably do both, right? But
with the kind of spoiling. If you play the board game, and then it's like, oh, we know that's where the evil cultists live, and it changes the. I'm just thinking a little bit of the spoilers. That's going to be hard to prevent. So they want a fully integrated product line. So it's interesting. So and their quote is, they want fan favorite mechanics torn straight from the screen for this Diablo board game and RPG. And so one more quote from them. This is on their website. We value your input. Take a moment to complete our survey and let us know your needs and desires for the Diablo TT.
Oh, for the Diablo. Okay, there you go.
Not in general. That might get a little.
Your needs and desires specifically for this thing, right? Okay.
Yes, for Diablo TT RPG experiences, your feedback will drive the enhancements we make. Let's co-create the ultimate game together. So a lot of encouraging kind of talk like that, and they really are responsive. I was surprised. Infinity Discord kind of they started a little topic or a little server where everybody was talking about this game while it was Apex was being playtested by this company, and it was they were really responsive. I was surprised by that. So what do you think? Is that going to make a good game?
Not specifically about this, but the constant feedback, right? I think constant fan base feedback can sometimes be at odds with the creator's vision or statement, and that's not trying to be hyper or anything, but it's have an idea, right? For this thing, right, and kind of see it through. And I guess it's not completely at odds, but yeah, if you're making a game based on an IP, you want fans of that IP to say, yes, this feels like the IP you're designing for. This feels like whatever it came before. And getting feedback, right? Not all feedback is good, right? I guess to boil it down, this kind of seems like trying to please everyone means you're going to please no one.
Right. Yeah, and hopefully they're not going. Hopefully they have like a design pipeline or production where they're going to have certain branches where they're like, okay, now let's see what people think of this, and okay, that didn't go over well, or that's fine, or we didn't get enough of a discontent to rethink that. So hopefully, yeah, they have like kind of limitations in mind where they'll be able to keep moving forward in production and not get stuck in these loops of, well, let's make it stronger, let's make it weaker, let's make that, yeah. But and it seemed like they were doing that with Apex. That was amazing because each of the heroes has like an individual power, and they were just making these little adjustments based on, you know, 'cause it was several people that were playing the game and giving them feedback. So they had a good amount of data to kind of say, okay, we're seeing most people running into this problem. So
like that's where I would agree with it, right? Like most people are running into this problem. Okay, well then let's
and I think
and fix
maybe
the
for
problem.
a board game that's a bit easier than an RPG.
I think so.
Because I think the range of experiences in an RPG are going to be hard to kind of quantify and put into a data sheet, a spreadsheet. so we'll see. Yeah. So I was surprised by this, and I guess they have a license now. It's like a 3-year deal with Blizzard, so we may see some more.
As much stuff as they can cram through that pipeline in 3 years.
Yeah. I may see more board games. So that's interesting. And I hope it's not going to be affected because Blizzard was the acquisition just went through of Microsoft buying Blizzard, Activision, whatever. So I hope that doesn't, just like with the Disney thing, just kill all the projects. So hopefully this is not going to just disappear.
Especially after people pledge to it.
Yeah, right. Right. So, so look for that next year, and the crowdfunding for that and the announcement at BlizzCon. So we'll see. They do a good job. I mean, I really was... Frostpunk got really good reviews, and I was involved in the campaign for Apex Legends, just playtesting and stuff, and it was surprisingly responsive. So if they keep that kind of thing up, I think they'll it'll go well. Oh wait, was this not in the introduction? I think I forgot something. Yes, I did. All right, before we get into the war with the machines, let's talk about something wonderful and nice. So there's a current Kickstarter for Mythic Bastionland.
Yes, I've heard of this.
Yes. So this is Chris McDowell, so the maker of Into the Odd and Electric Bastionland. And so this is billed on the Kickstarter page as before Into the Odd. So this is the kind of prehistory of that setting so far. So some flavored text from the book itself. So on cold Miston hills, beast witsome and fell, in holdings and havens the vassals add well. Seers know all, the start and the end, myths plural, hushed aloud, to which truth must abend. Aside vagabonds or snakeling trails, knights render their stories a wrench from their veils. I have a feeling a lot of these things aren't actual words. From the oath for the glory, through sorrow and ache, the city, capital C, that quest to which no knight can make. So this is Knights. This is inspired by. So the inspiration is Arthurian legend, right. And the interesting thing is it's kind of opened. Like I think the other games, it's open to interpretations, like kind of your idea of what knights are and how that. So you can follow as close to or as far from into the more fantastic that you want. So you begin. Players begin as errant knights. There are 72 different knight types that you can play as with unique abilities, passions, and spirits. And there are myths that you can follow. So it's going to have a hex crawl mechanic, and you're going to be crawling those hexes and following those myths. And in a very fast, streamlined mechanics are going to handle hex crawling, domain management, aging, exploration, and mass battles. So fast-paced, rules light, encouraging creative problem solving and decisive combat. So 1 to 4 players plus a referee.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's good for written for both ongoing campaigns that span seasons or fast-paced one-shots. Okay. And there currently is a quick start, a short, like a 64-page Kickstarter that
Short 64 pages.
that you can download and try it out immediately. So, and the designer said that the rules are pretty much written. We're just finishing things off, kind of waiting for art, and they're using the same artist that they used for Bastionland, and it's gorgeous. The work, so 150 beautiful color illustrations by Alex Sorensen, who worked on Electric Bastionland, are going to be completed for this. So one book will contain everything you need. There is one physical version of this book, no limited editions, and no stretch goals on this campaign.
I respect that.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Just get this done. And the PDF will be released, a preprint PDF will be released in January. And they're using the same printer as Electric Bastionland, so if you have that book, it's going to be the same quality, a hardback letter format, about 220 pages, sewn binding with a ribbon bookmark.
Nice.
So yeah, it's so the designer said, with Mythic Bastionland, I invite you into a dreamlike medieval world of myths, glory, and adventure. So it sounds really like I love the really straightforward approach to crowdfunding and how you can play it. Yeah, 74-page quick start right now. And yeah, everything seems very open and interesting. And I think like the other games, I've backed Into the Odd, the kind of reprint of Into the Odd, and also as an add-on for this, you can get Electric Bastionland as well. So I guess they're reprinting that, or if they still have that in stock, that's coming out. So yeah, so feats and focus and a gambit system, but very straightforward. Mechanics, just like glancing at the
I'm gonna have to go look at the quick start.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. It might be fun because it's just started, so it might be fun to try.
Well, I don't really consider 64 or 74 pages a quick start. I mean, that's just me, right? Like I constantly, I'm not impressed by like the size of a huge book. So like 64 page quick start, not a quick start.
Yeah, I think it might be the character types,
probably.
So
like it's enough to play, right?
Yes. So I think that's what it's going to be. Is a lot of that is roll your D66 or whatever is going to generate your character. And so let's move into the humanity's war with the machines. Leave all this happiness behind. So Adobe responds to a controversy over AI-generated images of Gaza explosions. So yeah, Adobe has their stock. I guess it's just Adobe stock, their photo thing. And previously they've said these aren't for editorial use. These aren't like there's a lot of types of images that they forbid because they don't want this to be a journalist resource. But it has become that because a lot of the people that are submitting to them or posting for them are doing AI generated work. And so just a week after President Biden in the US, his executive order on the use of AI highlighted potential societal harm, including disinformation. There were AI-generated stock photos of Gaza explosions that have been used on websites and blogs without being labeled AI-generated. So the Australian news outlet Crikey, of course, was one of the first ones to realize this, that they were using artificially generated images. And a spokesperson for Adobe said, Adobe Stock is a marketplace that requires all generative AI to be labeled as such when submitted. These specific images were labeled as generative AI when they were both submitted and made available to license in line with these requirements. We believe it's important for customers to know that Adobe stock images were created with using AI tools. So they're committed to fighting misinformation and the same kind of corporate statement. And specifically they said they're not known for editorial imaging. Their service specifically says they provide designers and businesses with access to millions of high-quality, curated, royalty-free images, but they want to... So the types of images that they will not allow are conceptual images that are designed to illustrate articles on current events and newsworthy topics. The type of content... features images of real brands and products like buildings, soda cans, computers, etc. But the things that they don't allow are specific documentation of like sporting events, social events, recognizable images of celebrities and known people, so that they stay away from all of that.
Well, I guess, okay. I have a subscription to FreePick. And recently, FreePick has become almost unusable because of the amount of AI-generated crap that goes up there. There is a toggle switch you can do to like filter out AI, and I think similar to what Adobe said here, and that's the link. I think free pick requires people to say whether it's AI generated or not. I want to know if Adobe. I want to know how that happens.
Right.
Are we just relying on the people who submit the thing to tag their own stuff as AI? Because that seems to be what free pick does, and even when I click that button, I'm still like, that's AI trash, right? Like even when you turn it off, stuff still goes through, because if we're relying on people to do it themselves, they're just not reliably going to do it.
Yeah, because it'll be an advantage. Like your photos will be used more.
So I wonder how Adobe is doing that. Like it's I'm not going to side with Adobe, but if they're saying we don't do editorial, we provide the stuff, it's kind of on you to find out whether you're using AI or not. Like, okay, I hate to say it, but that's a reasonable stance. It's less reasonable if there's not some kind of enforcement about labeling stuff as AI.
Right, where you're just relying on how people submit it. And so don't get on Adobe's side too hard. Well, especially because they don't have software anymore; they have subscription services. But the other thing that they did run into, which I didn't know that Adobe had done this, they were talking about they are going to be an ethical source of AI tools because they're not training them from stolen images.
They're
but
training
in
them
fact,
from images that people have made and they have acquired.
Right. Yeah. So but they
illegally.
they ran into, but they did run into that problem with people that have submitted, because they are training their tools on Adobe stock images and things that have been submitted that were not. There was no agreement at the time. So they're not doing a great job with that. So they got in trouble. 300 million images and illustrations that without prior express notification or consent were used to train their Adobe Firefly. So Adobe's not doing great either. No one is handling this bonanza of AI.
Well, no, the thing is, okay. That all to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, it all depends on your point of view, right? From the company's point of view, they're doing this well, right?
Yes.
We're doing everything we need to do it. From like an ethical standpoint, no, the fucking shit in the bed, right?
Right.
So, all right.
Yeah, so there was an interesting quote in the article that was saying Adobe stock is basically cannibalizing its platform because it needs to respect the rights of the third parties and require all stock contributors to comply with their terms. Otherwise, it's just going to be the images in there are going to be used by their own AI tools to just feed back trash into their because. Yeah, these stock image sites, I mean, people are just trying to make money and get a popular download, so they're going to use any advantage possible, and if that involves unchecking that generated by AI box, then that's what they're going to do.
Yep.
So more fun in the world of AI.
Yep.
All right.
Can we just like jump to like the Matrix style? Just plug us all in.
Yes.
Like that's the
just skip.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah. But let's talk about something that was generated by a human that was actually and was actually discussing humanity's relationship with machines and technology.
Okay.
So the Tales from the Loop maker and creator is Simon Stålenhag. His sequel art book to kind of Tales from the Loop, similar in style, is called The Electric State, and Free League is making it into an RPG. Okay. So this isn't connected. It's similar in style, and it's a similar type of project, an art project. It's illustrations with some fiction or kind of some narrative text and writing that Stålenhag produced, and now it's being picked up to become an RPG for Free League. Of course, using the Year Zero engine. And the explanation of the setting is a forlorn journey across late 90s consumerist hellscape, and the setting is specifically America in this.
We're better the place at hellscape, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's an alternative.
Consumerist hellscape.
Yes. Yeah. Right. An alternative version of the U.S. where corpses of battle mechs lie in heap alongside colossal advertisements and the waste of society choked by late-stage capitalism. So Niels Hintze will be writing it, and a lot of the Free League contributors, Thomas Herrström, Niels Karen, and Matthias Jonsson Hokke will also be working on it. They've all previously worked on all other Free League projects, and Johan Nohr will be doing the layout. So it looks like just the cover, like mock-ups and stuff they showed, it looks like it's going to have a nice design, and especially if it's going to be based on the book.
I'm sure. Like I saw the ad for this, and first I didn't realize that this was based on one of his art books, and I kind of went, whatever. Then I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. As interested as I am, I'm a little bit, not pessimistic, but if it's based on another visual art book, which of course like looks stunning. Like I know it's going to look stunning, right? If it's the same Year Zero engine. Okay, the Free League has definitely proven that the Year Zero engine is flexible and does lend different feels to all the different kind of like modifications they've done to it. It's not even concerned, but my thought is, how different is this going to be from Tales from the Loop?
Right.
It's
Mutant Year Zero.
But it's the same author's art book, the same writers for the system, the same system, right? So even if I'm not saying they can't do it, but my initial reaction was kind of this probably could have been like an add-on or an expansion or something to Tales from the Loop. And if it isn't, I kind of am interested in how radically different did you make it to kind of justify it being its own RPG.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think the setting maybe lent them to think, we're not going to connect these things, and they're not explaining. So the setting itself is basically you are a motley crew of seekers, travelers, and lost souls picking their way across the metal-strewn graveyard of military industry run rampant and commercial excess. And the story for the book is a teenage runaway and her yellow robot traveling west, so like a road movie basically, and into the eerie societal ruins of 90s America. And so as they continue on, as a pair, they continue mirroring a degradation or rot at the center of the American project. So things kind of gradually, as they move westward, things kind of gradually collapse. So
that sounds like it would be a great book, which it is, right?
Yeah, right.
Like
Right,
the relationship of these two characters like is a metaphor for the state of their surroundings as the farther weather. This sounds like one of those things where I have trouble seeing how this becomes a traditional RPG. Like one of those indie solo journaling things. Cool. Yeah, got it. Or like a 2-player kind of thing. Sure. How do you translate this into a kind of traditional group game?
Yeah, right. And it's interesting because if they're going to do kind of a Tales from the Loop approach where there's no death, there's just exploration and like being taken out of scenes and like, losing your role in the story temporarily, that is going to be an interesting. So you already have Mutant Year Zero, which is deadly and your characters can die and it's a vicious, post-apocalyptic setting. And so this is going to be kind of halfway there, or if they're just going to like, more concentrate on the narrative of it, kind of like they do with, characters do die in Vaesen as well, but like a mystery or exploration game where, I'm not sure like where it's gonna fall, and if you're gonna be carrying rifles or if you're just gonna be scavenging, you're just gonna be have a bag full of stuff that you're collecting.
Like I haven't read the art book, but based on his previous stuff, like I have to wonder if like the lack of a solid mystery or lack of a solid answer is kind of the appeal of one of these books, and like again, like a traditional RPG, like, okay, what's the mystery? Does there have to... I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do.
And I think with a lot of their games, it does feel like that, because when I did the unboxing of Vaesen and went through it, one of the comments on YouTube was like, what the hell do you even do in this game? Because, I didn't read through the mystery, and so they fill you in a lot. And I think Alien as well, they kind of fill you in a lot with their pre-written adventures. You kind of get, okay, this is what they're going for and this is what you do, and if you wanted to make an adventure in this with this game, this is how you would approach it. So what they are going to produce as far as the adventures included will give you some guidance, like this is how we're kind of intended to play it. But you want to hear the bad news? Okay, so and this has me worried because these people, these people, not Free League, these other people also have a license for The Walking Dead. So I think this is how this happens. So we're talking about corporate synergy here, which is not good. So this game is going to be produced in cooperation, in partnership with Skybound Entertainment. And Skybound Entertainment is a company that has a thing on their website called the Wheel of Cool or some nonsense like that. So they do comics and video games, and now they're doing, tabletop RPGs. It's just nonsense. And so it's going to lead them further into the kind of cheesy, trashy, because they Skybound license a ton of stuff, and they publish a bunch of comics that I don't know if anybody's reading. So I don't know. So anyhow,
this all our Skybound comic fans.
sorry, Skybound readers. It just has me a little worried because I don't want Free League to be kind of courted into this like cheesy American entertainment machine.
Right. You just put out a game, or you're releasing a game where its core theme is like the corrupting rot of late-stage consumer capitalism in America.
Yes.
Don't fall into that.
Yeah, don't fall. Yeah, don't fall.
Yeah.
So anyhow, it's already too late. So you're forgetting about the synergy. Like everything has to have synergy. So with this partnership is also included a film adaptation of Stålenhag's story, with the Russo brothers already attached to direct of Marvel Cinematic Universe fame, and they've already signed Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt to the Netflix produced project. So immediately that really discouraged me. Like they're going, this is what, cart before the horse or whatever. This is really bad that they're already expecting this setting to have a good enough effect. I mean, they did a really amazing series on Amazon for Tales from the Loop.
Do you think that's what?
But nobody watched it, and it didn't really have a connection. I don't think that it made people play the game, or it made people look. And maybe it made people look at the art book, but I don't think it made people play the Freely game. So I'm really worried that this is just going way off into whatever. I don't know, but
or if it's successful, this is the way forward.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's true. If everything has to be, Sweden, Embracer Group in Sweden, they're thinking too synergistic. I think they're too much multimedia in their heads at this time. So we'll see. So the road story meets dystopian meditation will become a Netflix
special
movie. Yeah, they're calling it a film adaptation. I don't know if that's a short series or whatever. Yeah, but if they've already got these names attached and stuff, it already sounds not great. But I would encourage people, though, if you haven't watched it, definitely check out the Tales from the Loop on Amazon Prime. That was a really interesting, because it was, the default setting for Tales from the Loop is Sweden. They did an interesting thing where this has no setting, this has no time, this has no geography. You're like, I don't know where the hell we are, I don't know when the hell we are, and it really plays into that really well, because there's this technology that exists, but it's kind of this retro strange. Yeah, it really worked well. I don't know if they can duplicate this, especially with Chris Pratt, but we'll see. We may just get a wacky version of The Last of Us. But yeah, so anyhow, that has me a little worried. So guys, please don't do this.
Don't do it.
Don't fall for it. So yeah, we'll be seeing. So the Kickstarter will start December 5th and fulfill somewhere late 2024. But it's interesting. This is not the next book in the sequence of the Tales from the Loop that Simon Stålenhag did. There was a campaign in 2020 for The Labyrinth, and The Labyrinth was a kind of a completely different story, and almost kind of mirrored strange pandemic paranoia and issues. It was about a trio of survivors trek across a wasteland in a world in the wake of an unexplainable phenomenon that awoken ancient life and mysterious forces.
That seems to me like it would be more of in line with a traditional RPG.
Yeah, right. That's so I don't know, but I think maybe the American thing sold Netflix, and what's their face is Skybound on it. But anyhow, it has me a little worried. And here's another thing that has me worried. My paranoia is being stoked. So the mysterious Edge Studios, who have done almost nothing since they have become the default arm of RPG production for Fantasy Flight, working under Asmodee, they are finally releasing reprints of the 3 box sets that were the starter sets for the Star Wars RPG with the funny dice.
Right, okay.
But previously, I think spring of this year, there was an interview with the guy, the guy that's kind of directing these projects for Edge Studios. And he said, I don't know, we're working on something. I can't tell you about it. I don't know what's going on, and saying pandemic cause, reasons and everything. And so the biggest thing that people want is some of the source books that are out of print for the system if they are already playing it, and the silly dice, because you can't get the silly dice anyway. So the silly dice are going to be in these 3, maybe in. Previously they were in, a set of them were in these beginner boxes. So that helps a lot to actually be able to get into the game. But earlier this year, they said we're having trouble. We got to find the company that has the die, the die for the injection mold, because we don't know. They kind of lost. The handover was not handled well, and so they lost those relationships. So yeah, these games originally released in 2014, so almost 10-year-old RPGs. And if you look on the shelf over there, All three,
all three
of
of them
them,
are right over there.
them are right over there. There was some season, like a few years after it came out, they were crazy discounted. I think I got those for like $7 each, and so the whole set. So they were very accessible once upon a time. But this includes the Age of Rebellion, Age of Empire, and Force and Destiny. So it's going to be those. Those three different kind of settings and pre-gen characters and an adventure to play. So you get it's not a full rule book or anything, but it'll acquaint you with the settings, and you can very easily get the PDFs of the core rule books from DriveThru or whatever if you want to keep playing. So yeah, they're going to retail for $32.99 for each of the sets, and of course, adventure book and additional downloadable characters are available on the website. But don't go to the Edge Studios website. It is sat incomplete for like 3 years now. The handover is like 2020, and they haven't even finished building their website. And there's a funny link at the bottom that says having problem with WordPress. Click here. So somebody like half built them a website, and it's just sitting there. And so there's been a lot of questioning of like, what is this? Is it a dead game? Are you still working on something? They said in the spring of this year they are still working on something, and now we finally see.
Well, I mean, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes there, but I mean, licensed game.
Yeah,
right. It's a licensed IP. Who knows what happened in the handover or what the owners of the IP are saying? So,
and who knows what Disney is thinking about Star Wars now? Maybe they're just like, don't remind people of the Star Wars.
Definitely not saying that is the case, but all I'm saying is,
yes, it could be. Okay, and for our final story, let's do this.
Not the best.
Okay, so, and that of course is we're discussing not the best of the world's greatest role-playing game or whatever it's called.
It's getting rebranded as the world's not the best.
Yes, that's right. The world's not the best role-playing game, which refuses to be called D&D 1 and is going to call itself 5e 2024 or something. The name is all over the place, but finally they're launching their new streaming channel with a star-studded event. Are you ready? So Wizards of the Coast is going to enter the world of actual play streaming. They've been doing that a lot already on Twitch and YouTube, but we talked years ago now. I think it was literally years ago about their free ad-supported streaming television channel.
Okay.
So they're bringing us the 3 new series on this. So we've already named these multiple times and the people involved. And basically, the motivation for this is Critical Role was the highest paid Twitch streamer in 2021 when data was leaked that they made millions of dollars streaming 5e. And so Hasbro Entertainment is going to step in. So this weekend, I guess that would be the 13th or Monday, November 13th, for some reason is a Monday. There's a big event. I don't know where it is. I don't know how you can see this, but there's a big star-studded event that's going to launch this channel. So they are going to preview. So there's, I guess, a preview the 8th. So is this on cable or is this?
You're also the wrong person.
What is this? So I don't know where this channel is. There's no details about how you find this, but if you know where a fast channel could be found, D&D should be on it. And of course, they're launching Encounter Party, Faster Purple Worm Kill Kill, and Heroes Feast.
I'm still mad that Faster Purple Worm Kill Kill is like their thing.
Yes.
It's like, if you go back in my Twitter feed, 2015 something, whatever, I'm like, someone needs to make an RPG of Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. So now I'm just mad that someone has stolen that out from.
They were following you on Twitter, obviously.
Apparently.
Yes. Yeah. So, so that's going to be a comedy kind of comedic mayhem with tabletop gaming and celebrity guests. So Seth Green and
already
Patton Oswalt.
Uninterested.
Co-produced by Matthew Lillard, though, the Beetle and Grimm guy selling you the whiskey. Yeah, no, with the themed whiskey and all that good stuff. And then Encounter Party seems like their only kind of legitimate actual play, and then Heroes Feast is a cooking show. Yeah. So anyhow, that's not the best. That's not the best. And I'm wondering though, Brinkwatch 2023, where is the Kyle Brink Pander Hour?
Maybe that's maybe that's the big announcement live on Fast Channel.
So players of color are going to be apologized to and pandered to.
He's going to get fired.
Yeah, right. That would be great. That's the season finale, right?
Maybe.
It'll be like the Reverse Bachelor. Right? They'll fire their.
I hate to bring up this person now, but that would be the thing. Start the season with firing Kyle, then have a whole apprentice style thing to see who gets that position.
Oh, there we go. Yes. What person
Free
of color?
programming. There you go, Watsy.
What token hire, diversity hire, person of
Yikes,
color,
yeah.
whether are they going to plug in because they're going to do the right thing. So, yeah, it is day 293 since Kyle said that cis-het white men should step away from the hobby, and he still continues to run the damn
Well, like
thing.
you said, he didn't mean to say in a professional.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway.
I'm still going to be, collecting a check and pulling the
Don't
strings.
play.
Yes.
Make.
Yeah, well, that's right. So that's right. We've never accused him of being a player, so that's true. I guess that's what he's saying is, so we'll step away and we'll just monetize you guys. We'll take care of the monetization. You play and be represented and unmarginalized as possible. So yes, I'm looking forward to Kyle's show if that in fact does come up on the
for certain levels of looking forward to. Yeah, sure.
Right? The Kyle Bring Pander Hour now on
Whatever.
Watsy Fast channel, whatever. Yeah. So if let us know in the comments if you know where in the heck you could find a fast channel, and what they're even thinking with Hasbro Entertainment.
What they're thinking is, look at all that money we left on the table with the Critical Role AP, right?
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, so that they're going to try to make that up.
Yep.
So that'll do it. So sorry for the extra story there. I completely
No worries.
missed the Mythic Bastionland. So where can people find you?
I don't remember anymore. Nope, fell out of my head.
It begins with an X?
Nope. Doesn't begin and end with an X. I guess mildly on Threads, mostly on Instagram, and Blue Sky.
Ah.
I find HYVEMYND, where I'm still occasionally test fitting little 28mm models for all the skirmish war games we've acquired.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you recommend or suggested that we try a Forbidden Psalm.
Yep.
Yeah, doing that from scratch. Yeah,
Yep.
I think, and that because that goes together really fast. So I think especially for a live stream, that would be fun to
I think it would be fun
create
too.
our little war bands and make them as broken as possible and have them. And also too, I'd be curious in trying using that as a funnel. Using that as like, oh, okay, I love this character in my war band. Let's let's take them into the RPG.
Right,
So,
yeah, that'd be fun.
yeah, I'm interested if that would actually work, because it felt like that. The game that I played, A Forbidden Psalm, felt like you get attached to certain certain members.
Don't.
Yeah,
The
right.
other game, I forget the author's name now, but the other skirmish game I'm looking at is Lobster Pot, which is similar, where the connection here was you go through the character creation and it says, name your character, so you know what to write on their tombstone. And I'm like, that's good. That's beautiful.
That's
right
good.
there.
Yeah. Nice. All right, and if you're interested in cartoons, I'm still doing one. So Abuse Cartoons is still happening weekly. So it's Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch, and it's just a live stream of me drawing the cartoon. And if you want to read the cartoon, go to GoComics. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And if you like what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
Yes, the strongest of all supporters.
Yes, on patreon.com/upturntable. And upturntable.com is the website for everything. And then Upturntable, of course, on YouTube and Twitch. So subscribe if you want to get notifications when we go live on this live stream. The audio for this will go out as a podcast. So wherever you see podcasts, look for Upturned Table. And then also the full audio of the entire live stream after this we talk to chat goes on to the Patreon RSS feed. So and also there's a little join button if you're watching on
Somewhere
YouTube.
down there,
Yes, to become a member, so you get the same sort of exclusive content that patrons do. So thank you for joining us, and we'll be doing this again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. All right. Yeah, the traffic is especially wet sounding. It's raining pretty heavy here today. So, yeah, we're having really strange weather. Unseasonably warm, but very, very rainy. So I'm expecting a big temperature drop after this is done. I'm sure that's thrilling. But I thought you might be able to hear it, so it'd be worth explaining. So let me take a look how the chat is doing. Yeah, good to see everybody in the chat, and things are a little bit earlier. Hey, Abyss, how's it going? Uh-oh, you guys are talking 40K. Yeah, I just saw the, I think Spiky Bits or somebody was talking about how there's huge delays now with everything, and so ordering directly from their web store isn't even the optimal way that they want you to shop with them. They want you to literally order online and go pick it up at one of their stores. If it's like a pre-order or whatever. So that's basically saying, yeah, we don't want you to step foot in another brick and mortar store that doesn't say Warhammer on it. But they're saying that the shipping delays are insane now. They're expecting like at least 9 days delivery, which means 2 weeks, because that's business days, 9 business days. So it sounds like they're really screwing things up, and I don't think it's ever going to be worth it. So it's probably going to be, if you're looking for stuff that will later become available, probably the discounters like Amazon and stuff will be more reliable than Games Workshop themselves, especially if you knowing how soon you'll get it. Crazy. Oh, sorry. And earlier, we were talking about Flesh and Blood, a card game, like a hero-based card game. So you play like a single character that has weapons and armor, and then you are basically like dueling. Sorry, so that whole rant, so our Hero Crest went pretty quick, so we had some extra time, and I said, it says 20 minutes to play, which is not true when you're just beginning, but 20 minutes to play a quick game. So we did a 4-player game of Flesh and Blood, and it's by a New Zealand developer, and for some reason it's insanely popular in Japan. It's only been around for like a year and a half. What is the name? Sorry, what's the name of the company? And they doing a really interesting job with it. And like I said, they're paying attention to how people are responding to it. And initially, they were doing a limited, when they would do release a set. They have like major sets, I forget what they're calling them, like a major update and then an expansion of that. So basically in the major release they'll introduce new characters, new heroes, new playable heroes, and then the other sets just have cards to support them with no new heroes, because each hero kind of has their own mechanics. And there's 2 ways to play: a smaller size, what they call a blitz deck, which is the young version of the hero, so they have it's less hit points and their decks are smaller. And it's just supposed to be a fast way to learn the game. And then the full-size game, the Blitz version is 40 cards, and then 60 cards is the regular version. And you have more, I think you have 40 health as opposed to 20 health. And it makes the game much longer, because a lot of the strategy for the game is setting up kind of a late game, because you pay for playing cards with a cost that's on other cards. So all cards can be either played as... whatever it is, as action to I'm forgetting their vocabulary, but you pay for cards by pitching cards, and those pitched cards go to the bottom of your deck in any order you want. So you're kind of like planning future combos and planning future hands, and the hand size is pretty small. Right now it's just, most characters are just 4 card hands, so you play most of your cards in a single round. And at the end of your turn, you draw back up. So it's an interesting mechanic. So you can attack. So it's encouraging attacking, because you draw up at the end, and you also need your cards for defense. So you use your cards for defense to power any actions that you're going to take, and then also for different reactions. There's reactions to both attack and defense that you can play. So it's a really interesting mechanics. I haven't played it enough to really get my head around it, but and I've only been playing the short version, kind of the learning version of the game. But it's called Flesh and Blood, and I still don't see the name of the studio. Wait, it's got to be at the bottom here, right? It's like Oh, wait, here it goes. About Us, like living legend. Yeah. I just saw it there. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah. So About Us. Yeah, but I like the idea. The whole concept is we want you to play in person. We don't like the idea of pushing everybody towards digital, buying digital card packs and things. So they're encouraging game shops to run. They have support packs to run tournaments and stuff. So they don't have the name of the company. That's so funny. Yeah, it's something living legends, story legends. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's a fun game. Interesting art, and it's nice to see an indie or like a smaller developer have such success with this game. I think they did have initial distribution trouble, and it's called Flesh and Blood because they want you to play in person, and it's also a bloody dueling game. All right, sorry about that. So, Dude and Miguel, it's good to see everybody in the chat. Sorry about that. I think I said it once really fast at the beginning of that discussion. Yeah, and I was mostly teasing Chris about it because Chris didn't like the deck she was playing at all because it was it's like a weird reactive deck. You're supposed to punish people for defending. You just like have this like default attack every round, and you punish people for blocking it. And so it was kind of mysterious as an intro deck. It doesn't sound great. So Diablo the RPG, says Miguel, you run the same adventure 200 times, hoping that the green drops. Yes, we'll complete the set. Exactly, that's exactly what they're simulating. Yes, so Glass Cannon Unplugged is part of Glass Cannon. I think they're, I hope not. Are they? Interesting. Yeah, I just saw the, I wonder if they are the same, because they don't talk about, don't they have, I wonder if they share anything. Yeah, they only talk about board games on the Unplugged, but they would have to reference their network of whatever, because the guys with the jeez, man, they have a huge consent thing. Yeah, it's if they are connected, they keep it pretty separated. There's no links to bringing them together. I wonder, but it does. You're right though, Matt. Unplugged, it does sound like it's a physical arm. Does Glass Cannon have like a cherub with a electric bazooka or whatever for their? Let me see if it's the same logo. That would. Yeah, the Glass Cannon network. So they don't really have a... Oh, there it is. Their Actual Play Podcast Network. Kind of similar. Why wouldn't they kind of link the two things together? Maybe not. Maybe they just chose a similar name. I don't know. Are there any t-shirts with cherubs on them? Oh, the... Unplugged, that's why it's an electric weapon, because it was unplugged in the logo. That's funny. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's connected. I just know they ran a good campaign for Apex. Okay, the Glass Cannon network is comedy, tragedy, and dice. You would think they would cross-promote if they were the same thing. Because it's crowdfunding projects and everything. No, they may not be. That would be weird for it not to be, though. I'll get back to you. All right. Will there be a cow level side quest? Possibly. 20th Century Fox killed a Warzone in an indirect way. Oh. Not that Protoss were blameless, but... yeah, right. The Alien vs. Predator. Nice. Oh, so Matt says, looking forward to Mythic Bastionland. Guy has great ideas in his games. Yeah, and gorgeous production too. Yeah, you've got take a look at that Quick Start PDF. It's got some of the art in it. It's just beautiful. Oh yeah, and Matt. Yeah, Matt was already talking about the abstract city creation system in Electric Bastionland is super fun. Yeah, and it's going to be really crazy now. I mean, already like the images that blogs and a lot of news, aggregators and stuff use for their news stories just for shock value or whatever. It's almost to the level of like YouTube thumbnails. It's getting very ugly. So now if it's going to be all AI generated and they're going to kind of conceal the fact that, this didn't actually happen. We're showing you an event that didn't actually happen. We're just trying to, make your blood curdle or make you angry or, bereft. So it's weird. The Times of Journalist has used a fake image to support one or other. Yeah, one or the other is staggering. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's been a lot of controversy already with all kinds of AI generated images, and people just, is this what you want to see? Yeah, well, I can generate that through AI, and see, it never really happened, but yeah, if that's what you want to see, yeah, it's really, really nonsense, and it's a shame that Adobe is completely failing at handling this well, because they're one of the biggest players, so they should be doing it well. So Electric State is getting a TV series too. Oh yeah, right, Matt. Yes, yeah, the Netflix project. So that was very, very discouraging that all got mentioned at the same time. So great, they're doing a road movie kind of collapse of society RPG based on some more of the Stålenhag art and writing, and now Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown. There's too many people getting involved, too much synergy. So Free League is really good at changing the game to suit the theme. Yeah, I think they'll handle it well. Yeah, and it'll be an interesting, like, kind of midway between, like, depending on what they're going to do. It might be a totally different, look, much more fantastic style, but something that's not Tales from the Loop, and something that's not doesn't feel like Mutant Year Zero. So that will be interesting. Miguel says, I agree with Chris. What's for me as an RPGer? I check it out if it was a regular novel, but a game in that setting. Right. Yeah, I'm curious, and it's so strange now that they've gotten, the last thing they did was World of the Walking Dead or whatever it was called. So they're going to continue with a post-apocalyptic theme, and they've got this thing kind of rolled up. Yes, spun the wheel of cool once and broke it off and rolled away. The Wheel of Cool, yes. Skybound has me a little worried. Oh no, Miguel agreed with Chris twice. That we do have to write this down. What was this? November 10th, 2023. Miguel and Chris agree twice in one day. This is insane. A very memorable cast. Game about corporate greed will be in collaboration with Corporate Greed. Yes. Good to see you, Abyss. Nice. It's Corporate Greed not involving Games Workshop. That's pretty crazy. That's right. Yeah, the board game will have this real cash auction house where you have to, whatever your local currency is, you have to throw that on the table if you want to buy any upgrades, and it's all cosmetic. It makes sense that they're doing, a board game and an RPG together because they can share components, like Gloomhaven is going to do with their RPG. But if the expansions for the board game and expansions for the tabletop are going to be the same, then you kind of do have to make decisions about how and what you're going to play, and you're not going to play both, but you need to buy both. I don't know about that. Small stack of cards, $40. Yeah. But probably you'll have to pay a sub to roll the dice. Yes, right. Those damn Star Wars narrative is exhausting. Yeah, I'd like to play that game again sometime with a fun group, or I'd like to try to run it maybe with those magic dice and see if I can make that feel any better, because it didn't feel very good the few times that I played it. It's weird, but I got a lot of the wacky dice though. And Abyss is saying, I'm starting to believe the internet might have been a failed experiment. Yes. Yes, not the best. Yeah, so it's so funny. All of the press talking about this this channel, this streaming channel that Wizards of the Coast is doing for D&D doesn't say where to find it. There was one blurb about it's on Amazon something and something. One reference to ad supported. Where was that? Yeah, with a couple of like weird things that I've never like really heard. Oh yeah, so Amazon Freevee, Freevee, and Plex. So yeah, those are two. I guess so. Not even Roku or anything. I have no idea what. So this is just something on the internet that you can view on devices or whatever. I mean, they're putting money. Is this another Quibi or whatever? This like something somewhere that maybe someone can see, but you can't take it off of there. Because I think people are going to love to tear these shows apart. So they better be available because they'll make good content for the people chewing on WotC right now. But yeah, we'll see. Yes. And right, the Kyle watch. Yes, if you missed it, Miguel, Kyle watch was up to 293. This guy is going for a year of avoiding his duty as a liberal fellow, a liberal executive producer. Yes, insane. Celebrity guests, yes, including Patton Oswalt and Seth Green. Great. Yeah, so we'll see. Lillard is deeply involved in role-playing, monetizing role-playing for some reason. Yeah, so we'll see what happens to the hobby. Capital T, capital H. Oh yeah, we should. Yeah, so I mentioned that to Chris. She was leaving. If you want to do, we can give that a try tomorrow, Matt, if you're up for it. So yeah, we'll kind of see what people are doing around 8:00 your time, which will be 1 now our time, and yeah, see if Chris is available, and if not, we can just mess around with it because it's going to take some doing to get it to work well in Foundry, and I did install everything for Blade Runner. Oh yeah, that's another piece of news. That was another thing I could have added. The official release, of course, as soon as I'm finished and everything's done for the podcast, Free League always emails me, and so the case file number 2 for the Blade Runner RPG, the Fiery the Angels Fell, was just released. So I haven't gotten the PDF yet, but I pre-ordered it, so that should show up anytime. So we got to get some more Blade Runner going, so that should happen sometime soon. Oh no, Abyss wants to buy 10 pots of Citadel paints, which is what, over $100, and subscribe to Warhammer Plus. Yes, what a wonderful streaming service that turned out to be. Christmas shopping time. Yeah, this is with all the changes that they're making right before the holiday shopping season. That sounds like a real mess. I mean, it doesn't. You pay for whether you get the stuff or not. You still give them money, so they're still going to make money anyhow. They're just going to have to give you store credit when nothing arrives. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, right. They announced all their Battle Forces boxes. Never buy discounted GW stuff. Oh, right. Yes. That's a good point, Matt. Yeah. It just gets left out in the next edition. Like, all that stuff you picked up cheap, yeah, that's not a unit anymore. That's not included in the new codex. Yeah, because even people were, when they switched over to that Warhammer.com website, people were complaining that immediately you get hit with that queue software, the queuing software. So people just wanted to check out. They're probably being forwarded from gamesworkshop.com to warhammer.com, and immediately that queue software kicked in to, like, you must wait. You are number 5 in a queue, and wait a minute, and then we'll tell you when it's available. Oh, but Miguel bought Tyranids anyhow. Those do look, the Leviathan, the new sculpts for the Leviathan do look amazing. Oh, all of their stuff is technically, some of the design and stuff I'm not crazy about, but technically it's pretty impressive miniatures, like how they're manufactured. Just the quality and the design of the how they go together and stuff is really impressive. But it's tied to a shitty rule set and a terrible company, so who cares? Oh yeah, that would be much more fun. Yeah, we should run a Discord also while we're doing the live stream, so people can post images and stuff. That would be good. Have a Discord channel just for the live stream. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. If you're just on YouTube, Miko, you can post a link in the chat as long as Matt approves. Matt saying there's a weird old movie about medieval mercenaries called Flesh and Blood. Oh, Rutger Hauer was in. Oh, I think I've seen that. That sounds really familiar. Yeah, I think I've got the settings where you're allowed. You can post links. In the chat, so I think it should work. Uh-oh. Yeah, Matt is being paid by Hasbro. So you notice none of the chat comments can be can't be critical. Yeah, it should work. Uh-oh. Did we lose Matt? Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah. Let's ask Will. And do you think for Blade Runner, do you think Terry would be interested in Blade Runner, or is that not his vibe? You have a better idea of his taste in games and settings. That would be fun too. Plastic Taurus for Necromunda. I wish they would have been more straightforward with the Necromunda releases. That has become horribly expensive and complicated where they're hiding all of their rules now. Nice. Oh, the Sigmarites in Age of Sigmar are horrible looking, in my opinion. Yeah. The Cities of Sigmar releases. Abyss is saying my beefy tank boys are special needs, but they are my special needs. Oh no, dude, I've been having a migraine. That's the worst. Yeah, I had too much salt, I think, in a Japanese dinner, and I was dealing with a crazy headache the other day. Cool. Yeah, we should. Yeah, let's ask Terry. Because it's up to you guys though. What if you think the dynamic would be changed too much, or if you think that it would be interesting? I think it would be an interesting addition, but we could do something to kind of recap, or have you guys explain where your characters are at after the first case file, and then have him have the LAPD assign him later. That would be cool. Nice. Yes, well, when you're borderline hypertensive, yes, salt can fuck up your day. Yeah, just get pretty miserable. Just like a tension headache. It used to be just from like times like this with weird barometric pressure changes. Let's have a medical discussion. Sorry, but now it's salt, the enemy of all middle-aged goofballs. All right. Well, cool. So I think that will do it. It's good to see everybody in chat. Yeah, so I guess an hour earlier start in the U.S. helps a lot. So I'm glad you could hang in, Matt. Oh yeah. No, I definitely want to do that. What we're going to be playing though is probably not going to be as visually impressive. So maybe we'll live stream it, but then have the live streams set for members or set offline, so that only if you're watching live do you see them, and then do something else with them, and then release the edited versions. Yeah, they're a ton of work, but it's definitely worth it for Blade Runner because the assets are so gorgeous, and I've got all the music and everything, the intro and outro and stuff all set up. So it's definitely fun to, or it's fun to watch, but it's just a pain in the ass to produce. I need some hotshot 20-year-old that loves After Effects and Premiere that digs the channel. Definitely. Yeah, I can't get through. It's been killing me too, because I've been doing it literally like 10 minutes at a time, and I can't get through the second half of Dragonbane. It's been killing me, well, that will be available one of these days, and then we'll get some Blade Runner going again. All right, but so thanks everyone for hanging in there, and we will be back to so streaming time will be if your time changed. We'll be doing it at the same time, but for North America it'll be an hour earlier. If you observe daylight savings, I'm not sure what parts of the world do that, but if there's any time change. So everybody, Dude, Miguel, Abyss, and Matt, you guys take care, and we might be online tomorrow with some Malagast, trying out the new the creator of that mech game. God damn. Lancer, the creator of Lancer, or at least I guess the artist for Lancer, did a demonic skirmish game to be played on VTTs. So we'll give that a shot. So there is a Discord. Yeah, you should have access. Abyss, you're a member. You're a YouTube member, so you should immediately. Also, I can post a link to that. You should be able to get right into that from the member. So if you're on Patreon or a YouTube member, you have access to the Discord. So let me double check how that works. I know that it's connected. Let me check how you get the link from YouTube. I can just post it as a members only post. I will do that. So keep an eye out on the community posts on the channel on Upturned Table. All right, so everyone take care. And we'll do this again next week. So all this audio will be on the RSS feed for Patreon. And thank you so much for all your support for the YouTube members and the patrons. Much appreciated for your support and dedication. So we will see you again next time. Goodbye.